Good morning, everybody. This is Lynn from the Learn English Network, and it doesn't seem like a week since I last did this, but I guess it hasn't been a week because last week's episode was split into two parts. I hope you listened to the second part, and thank you to Gim for reminding me I'd actually posted up the wrong second part. It has been corrected now, so if you want to listen to part two, go to Spreaker or YouTube, you'll find them there. Okay, so I'd start with something to do, really, with recording on Spreaker and making recordings in general for your listening practice. And Zeb started off 7 days ago with, yay! Amatsu reads out loud the LEN News Roundup now. Thanks, Amatsu. Okay, what you'd say there, Zeb, is Amatsu is reading the LEN News Roundup out loud now. Thanks, Amatsu. For those who are interested, the audio is on Spreaker. http://www.spreaker.com/user/blah blah blah. That's as far as it goes, actually. The text is on the LEN English magazine. And it's true, Amatsu is now reading, and hopefully once she gets her head around the software and the hardware issues she's been having, two versions of the news roundup every week. A normal version, where she speaks in a normal pace, and a slow version, where she speaks in a slow voice. And as ever, you can read the text out loud as she's reading it out loud on the magazine. Just look for the news roundup with the number next to the recording. Okay, so this week she did Spreaker number 70, news roundup number 71. So if you look for that on the magazine, you'll be able to read and listen as you go. I'm not sure if she's done a slow version this week yet. I'm sure she'll get round to it, but we did have serious issues with her microphone over the weekend, so it's all good. So thank you so much, Amatsu. It's really appreciated. And she's got a lovely reading voice, very British accent. People say she sounds like me. I can't hear it myself. Okay, Amatsu then found all our thanks. Aladdin also wrote, how did you got that, Zeb? How did you get that, Zeb? Or how did you find that out, Zeb, Aladdin? To find something out, yeah? To suddenly realise something, or to research something, or just to know something. How did you find that out? How did you find out about that as well, you can say. Cheers for Amatsu, first broadcast. Okay, I think you meant cheers for Amatsu's first broadcast. Or cheers for Amatsu, full stop, first broadcast, full stop. So it's either two sentences, or cheers for Amatsu's, with the apostrophe S to show possession, first broadcast, no capital for first, and a full stop at the end, Aladdin. Never forget the end. And I do like your ASCII text, thumbs up. ASCII art. Zeb said, I keep an eye on the Spreaker page once a week to see if there's anything new, Aladdin. And this morning, surprise! To keep an eye on something, yeah? To watch something and see if anything's changed. So all of you parents, you keep an eye on your kids, don't you? I hope. Just to know what they're getting up to. If they go very quiet, you need to go and see what they're getting up to. I replied, she really did well. Getting everything to work was the biggest challenge. Nice smiley, Aladdin. And yeah, and Matsu then replied, oh, guys. Thanks, guys. I'm very nervous doing it, especially because of all the usual techie problems. However, hopefully we've sorted it and I shall be doing much more. Hope you enjoy them. Yes, we did, Amatsu, we did indeed. Zeb replied, I've enjoyed the first one. They'll be added to the other podcasts on my player when I commute. Ooh, well, I guess it is like a podcast, isn't it? I think of it differently because it's on Spreaker, but yeah, it's a podcast. Anyhow, Gim then wrote, Gim7 came in and said, brrr, I woke up with the cold weather this morning in France. It seems winter is coming. So Gim, you'd say brrr, that's fine, to show you're cold. We often go brrr, like that rolling R. I woke up with cold, I woke up to cold weather this morning in France. It seems winter is coming. And winter, it's one of those funny ones. It's a season, but it's not a proper noun, so it's always a small W. Winter, summer, autumn, spring, always with small letters at the beginning. You wouldn't say I woke up with a cold weather, yeah? I woke up to cold weather, or if you wrote I woke up with a cold this morning, that would mean you'd caught a cold and you were going achoo, achoo, cough, cough, sniffle, sniffle. Okay, so that's why we don't. Weather is uncountable, doesn't take any articles. Yeah, it was cold. I woke up to cold weather. Anyhow, Zeb replied, it wasn't so cold in my part of France. Overcast in the morning and a steady rain in the afternoon. Again, not a steady rain. Rain is uncountable. So, and steady rain in the afternoon. I replied, everything was pretty first thing, and the sound of ice scrapers was in the air. At least we don't have to worry about White Walkers. Now, only Game of Thrones fans will get this reference to White Walkers, okay? They are part of Game of Thrones, the bad guys on the other side of the wall in the north, and I only wrote that because Gim said winter is coming, which is something that the Starks are always saying in Game of Thrones. Winter is coming, winter is coming. Okay, so Gim got it. Well done, Gim. You mean like in Game of Thrones? Yeah. And I wrote, you got it. So to get something, to get a joke, to get something somebody said is to understand it, yeah? To be able to process it and to understand the joke, to understand what the person's referring to. And Gim got it. Then Gim said, hee, but I only saw the first season and I miss it. Ah, okay. I only saw the first season and I'm missing it. Okay, to miss somebody, yeah, I miss them, but I'm missing it, as in I would like to see more. I replied, well, season 2 is out on DVD. It's very good. And Amatsu said, it is indeed, Lynn. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I put her on to Game of Thrones. Gim, it's fantastic and well worth purchasing. Gim then replied, yes, thank you. I think I'll watch this season in English in order to practice my listening skills. Ah, lovely. So I think I will watch this season in English with a capital E, in order to practice my listening skills. Very good idea. And don't forget, you can put the subtitles on. It's not cheating. It's all good. Then I wrote, good idea. Try following our tips on how to use films to improve your English. I've got a whole page on watching films, watching TV series, and using it to improve your English. Works for any language. I do it in German. Awana then joined us and said, for a while I began to watch movies. A movie almost every night. And when I'm at work alone, I try to think in English, and I think this helps me a lot to improve my English. In Romania, all movies sound in the language they are made, and it always also helps us learn more quickly. So, Oana, what you'd say here is, in Romania, we show all movies in their original version. Okay, and it also helps us learn more quickly. I wish they'd do this around the world for everybody learning any language. Show the movie in the original language, make people read the subtitles, okay? I mean, people go on about how young people don't read anymore. If they couldn't watch their favourite films without reading, they'd learn to read, okay? Or am I being mean? No, I think it's really important. And I hate hearing Al Pacino with a German accent. It's just not right. And I said, yes, I would love to see a study done on the level of English and the use of dubbing in films. Subtitle good, dubbing bad. Oana wasn't sure, and she said, I don't know if you understood me. What I mean to say about thinking in English. When I'm thinking about some things, all my thoughts, I try to say it in English, and I think that can help ease me a lot. Okay, I don't know if you understood what I meant to say about thinking in English. So then you'd say, when I think about something, I try to say it in English, and I think that can help me a lot, okay? And Zeb replied, have you ever surprised yourself dreaming in English? And Oana said, no yet. Okay, that would be not yet, Oana. And then she said, are you joking? I think so. I told you only the truth. I'm sorry if for you is a joke. Okay, I only told the truth. I'm sorry if it's a joke to you. Zeb said, when I started to travel in countries where I had no choice but use English to get around, after some time I used to dream the events of the day. Okay, so you say there, when I started to travel in countries where I had no choice but to use English to get around, after some time I started to dream about the events of the day. I reenacted these events in English, but in my dreams I was better than in real life situation. Okay, but in my dreams I was better than in the real life situation. I wasn't joking, just curious if you had experienced something similar. Oana then said, okay, but no yet. So again, but not yet. So you said no yet earlier, it's not yet, and but no yet, it's not yet again. Okay, even in Italian, said Zeb. And then Oana said, but that's how I learnt fast Italian, thinking in Italian. So, but that's how I learnt Italian quickly, by thinking in Italian, full stop. And again, you're not leaving any spaces between your punctuation every so often, Oana. It's a really bad habit you've got when you're writing. It makes your writing very difficult to read. Okay, that space, it's about helping the reader understand what you're trying to say. Okay, and then even Zeb, I don't have such dreams. Okay, I'm not sure what you meant by even Zeb. It would be, but Zeb, I don't have such dreams. And again, space between the exclamation mark and your next sentence. Zeb then said, I have no doubt that if you can trick or force your brain to think in the language you're learning, you'll learn fast. Absolutely. I mean, brain training, that's what it's all about. Come on, brain, get in gear. My problem with my Spanish, said Zeb, is that I seem to add English words when I speak it. I'm not aware of it. Rubens, who learned Spanish with me, pointed it out to me. It annoys me a lot, and I have no clue how to correct this. Again, your brain kind of knows that you're learning another foreign language. What it's not doing is differentiating between the two yet, and it will differentiate between the two as you get better in Spanish. It will learn to separate them, honestly, especially if you apply as much effort into learning Spanish as you have into learning English. So keep your English going by practicing with people, but by learning Spanish, when you're in a Spanish environment, try to think in Spanish, try to speak in Spanish, try to do everything in Spanish. Okay. Oana then said, now when I learn English I feel like starting to forget Italian, but when I have to converse with someone I have no problems. Okay, so nice, Oana, you've got some spaces, you've got a space after the comma there. Yay, love it. Okay, when you say now I'm learning English, I feel like I'm starting to forget Italian, but when I have to converse with someone I have no problems. Full stop. Okay, good, glad to hear it. And again, it's about your brain's just going, ooh, funny language, oh, it must belong to this one, and it will eventually separate them. Oana then said, with the time will be better, you'll see. Okay, Oana, you'd say, with time it will get better, you'll see. You have to learn more and be more patient with yourself. Yeah, you have. I think you do. You have to be as patient with yourself as you are with others. I'm always amazed at how patient people are when they are teaching somebody a language, but when they're learning a language, they're really impatient with themselves. Give yourself a break. Zeb then went, patience. Ah, I lack patience, but yes, you're right. Okay, well done. Nice conversation, guys. Actually, very good. Martin then wrote, hey guys, can someone help me please? I have a problem with where to set the word possibly in this sentence. And Martin wrote, social networking sites like Facebook or Twitter possibly make it possibly easier to communicate with others. Thanks in advance. And the two possiblies were in square brackets, so he wasn't sure whether to put it in front or behind. I wouldn't put it there at all, actually, Martin. And I wrote, possibly make it easier, but personally I wouldn't use possibly here. Can make it easier, or you could try and make it possible to. So I would write social networking sites like Facebook or Twitter make it possible to communicate with others. Okay, or I would write social networking sites like Facebook or Twitter can make it easier to communicate with others. Okay, and can means it's possible, doesn't necessarily mean it's so. Oh, and by the way, Martin, Facebook and Twitter, they're actual companies, so you would capitalize the F and the T. Zeb wrote, hi Martin, do you believe it, Martin? I think that Facebook and Twitter are just full of followers. I always say clicking like does not improve your English, okay, guys? I mean, I love it when people click like on the stuff I post on Facebook, but it will not improve your English. Engage with the material, write why you like it. Think about why you like it and then write about it. And you'd be surprised. People are so surprised when they actually get a reply on Facebook. Keep it nice, keep it polite, keep it positive. If you don't like it, don't like it and leave. Go somewhere else, find something you do like, and then write about it. Yeah? Tell the person why you like it, and they'll be delighted, honestly. I wrote, I think as ever it depends. That's my favourite response. When people ask me sort of questions of what's better, what's worse, how should I learn English, I always write, it depends. There are a few people who genuinely connect with each other, but yes, there's an awful lot of liking going on, which isn't real engagement. Amatsu then replied to Martin, I would write it like this, Martin. It is possible that social networking sites like Facebook or Twitter make it easier to communicate with others. Very good. So, of course, it is possible wouldn't be in capitals. It is possible that, just the I and the it, and the social wouldn't be capitalised either, but the Facebook and Twitter would be capitalised because they're company names. That makes them proper nouns. Marisa then said, hi friends, and Amatsu said, hi Marisa, welcome. We didn't hear back from Marisa, so Marisa, where are you? What are you doing? How are you? And Alwind came on and said, just last Monday, the east coast of Italy is under the storm. Strong wind, big wave on the sea and more. Seem that winter is coming. It's time to stay at home to read some book, watching TV, study English and improve it. What are you doing in this season? Okay, nice topic, Alwind. So I would write... let's see, just last Monday, with a capital M for Monday, of course, the east coast of Italy. So I would say we've been having storms along the east coast of Italy. And east, not EST, but EAST, yeah, east. We've had strong winds, big waves along the coast, or big waves in the sea. Depends whether you mean the big waves are crashing onto the coast or the big waves are forming out at sea. So you could say big waves out at sea as well, and more. It seems that winter is coming. Again, you've used that than instead of that. You've got that embedded in your brain. You need to train your brain to understand that and than. It seems that winter is coming. It's time to stay home, to read some books, watch TV, and study English and improve it. English should be a capital E, Alwyn. What are you doing this season? Okay? And remember, Alwyn, this is the internet. It doesn't mean everybody's having the same season as you. Hey, it's coming into summer in Australia. Zeb replied, and lots of surfing, by the way, Alwyn, in Australia. You need to do what Zeb does. Yeah, fly south for the winter. Zeb replied, more time inside than outside. It's also true for me in late autumn and winter. For me, it means more activities using the computer, which is good for us, Zeb. Excellent. So you'd say, for me, it means I use the computer more, or more activities involving the computer, maybe. Okay. Alwind then replied, so do you work at home? Are you a freelancer? Why do you want to learn English? Wow. That's like a sort of machine gun of questions there. Alwind, we say, do you work from home? Yeah, do you work at home? Everybody works at home, but they don't work necessarily from home, which means you do your job at home. Okay, so do you work from home? Are you a freelancer? It's a new question, so the capital A. Are you a freelancer? And another question, capital W, why do you want to learn English? English with a capital E. Zeb went, no, I'm hooked to an employer, but I sometimes work from home. Well done, Zeb. I need to practice my English because I'm going to Australia soon. And Alwyn replied, what does I'm hooked to an employer mean? I have to agree with you, Alwyn. I've never heard of that before. And Zeb replied, Alwyn, I think I should have used tethered instead of hooked to convey the meaning I wanted to. Not sure if that cleared it up for him, though. Alwyn then said, yes, of course. The word tethered is better than hooked to understand what you mean. I don't knew any of two words than you write before. Okay. I didn't know either of the two words you wrote before. Okay, because she wrote them, yeah. I didn't know. I knew. I didn't know. Knew, know, known. Okay. So then I replied, tethered to, hooked on. But hooked to would imply being physically attached to something, usually in this context, your pay packet. Zeb then replied, there's a long chain, like the chain of a prisoner. On one side there's me attached to it, and on the other side my boss, who keeps an eye on me to make sure that I'm not going to escape. It doesn't work, does it, Zeb? And Alwyn then said, if your boss want to be sure that you don't escape, you are very important. Really? Okay, if your boss wants to be sure that you won't escape, you must be very important, are you? Okay, you could use a nice little tag question there. If you don't know about tag questions, go to the grammar pages, but they're really good in conversations like this. So, Oana then said, cool, I want to come, me too. Hey, what happened there? Where are you going, Oana? Zeb replied, oh, I think they're talking about another thread where Zeb said she's going to escape to Australia, so in a few months or over the next few weeks. We'll miss you, Zeb, but hopefully you'll be able to keep in touch a little bit and tell us what Burbundi or Bungawundi you're in at the moment. Zeb then said, but what about your studies and work? And that would be a question mark, okay? Because it's a question. Anyway, if you can make it, it's time to book a flight. Big smiley. Alwyn then said, and remember, right time, it's always now. Okay, so you'd say there, Alwyn, and remember, the right time is always now. Oana then said, okay, thanks, it was a joke, but I would be pleased to be able to come and have you as a guide. Amatsu wrote about the weather, which was replying directly to Alwind, his first post. Hi Alwind, we had a lovely day today, blue skies and sunshine, even though it was rather cold. Just last Monday, capital M for Monday, the east coast of Italy had a storm, strong winds. Oh, I see, you're you're correcting. Okay. Oh boy. Yeah, if you're going to correct, Matsu, capitalise the Monday as well. Strong winds, big waves in the sea, and more. It seems that winter is coming. It's time to stay at home to read some books, or a book, watch TV, study English, and improve it. Alwyn then got curious. Excuse me, Amatsu, but I would like to know where you live. I love the sun, the blue skies, and sunshine, and you can tell me where are them. Okay. You'd say there, Alwind, excuse me, Amatsu, but I would like to know where you live. And I would be capitalising there. I love the sun, blue skies and sunshine, and you can tell me where they are. Not where are them, where they are. They are in England at the moment, Alwind, as you'll find out later. Zeb replied, lol, Alwind, where Amatsu lives, I think it is miserable almost all year round. I mean, don't forget your umbrella if one day you visit her. Yeah, right, Zeb. Alwyn then said, ha ha, really? I'm curious now. Amatsu, I wait your answer. Okay, Amatsu, I'm waiting for your answer. You always wait for something or somebody. Yeah, I'm waiting for a bus. You could say, if you wanted to be sort of very formal, I await your answer, but that would make you sound like the Queen, okay? Or the King. Matsu then replied and said, I live in England, Alwind, and no, it's not miserable all the time, Zeb. And she poked her tongue out at Zeb with the colon P, sort of. Alwyn said, I know, Amatsu. Usually people match England to rain clouds and forget that if possible to get sun too. Okay, than again, Alwyn. I'll do a little electric shock every time you write than instead of that. Direct correction. Yeah, it's and forget that if possible. It can get sun too. It can be sunny too. Absolutely. It's often... We have droughts in England. Hosepipe bans every summer. So it's not always wet and cold. And I think Zeb knows that. I think she's got to apologise. Zeb then said, let's play fair here, Alwind. Would you plan your holidays anywhere in the UK? And Alwyn said, yes, I'll plan a holiday in the UK. So no, it would be, yes, I would plan a holiday in the UK, full stop. It's not a question. Yes, I would, or I'd, capital I, apostrophe D, plan a holiday in the UK. It's a sort of a wish. Yeah. Yes, of course I would. Okay. Can you advise me someplace? Can you recommend a place? Yeah. I was being in London in 2007. Okay, as soon as you mention a time in the past, you wouldn't say I was being, it would be I was in London in 2007. I have been to London, you could say, but I was there in 2007. I think that Edinburgh is right for my next holiday in the UK. Not sure where Edinburgh is. I think you mean Edinburgh, which is capital Edinburgh, Edinburgh. Okay. Then Zeb replied, I've walked part of the Offers Dyke. We actually just say Offers Dyke. So it'd be, I've walked part of Offers Dyke, which divides England and Wales, along the Pembrokeshire coast in Wales. Okay, it doesn't divide it just there. It actually divides it not along the coast, but right along the centre of Wales, actually. You can go all the way to Shrewsbury, and you can walk along Offers Dyke there. Okay, I've walked part of Offers Dyke, the bit that divides England and Wales, along the Pembrokeshire coast in Wales. I'm not sure if Offers Dyke goes into Pembrokeshire, you know. You sure you went along the coastal pass in Pembrokeshire? I'm going to have to look it up. I'll write on the magazine about Offers Dyke. I went to visit some parts of the Derbyshire. Again, not the Derbyshire. I went to visit some parts of Derbyshire in England. I also went to Hartlepool because of a mysterious story about a monkey. I still tell that story, Zeb. Not about the monkey, but about you asking about the monkey. And monkey would be small m, okay? I have enjoyed everywhere I have been to, except maybe Leeds. Okay, I enjoyed everywhere I went to, except maybe Leeds, because you're talking about a time in the past, yeah? The visit, the trip that you made, okay? I have never been to Scotland. You are the one who will have to tell me about Edinburgh. Well done, Zeb. You got where Edinburgh is. Edinburgh. Maybe they should call it Edinburgh. It actually looks nicer and it's easier to pronounce when you spell it like that. Alwyn then said, I don't know every place you showed me. I went only in London, but people told me about Edinburgh. And again, no, you're getting there, Alwyn, but it's not an M, it's an N. M for mother, N for November. So it's Echo, Delta, India, November, Bravo, Uniform, Romeo, Golf, Hotel. Okay, yeah, still got it. Can't do it quite as quickly as I used to, though. That's because I don't use that alphabet as often as I used to. But I've still got it. Zeb then did reply about Amatsu's post and said, Amatsu is right, Alwyn. It doesn't rain all day long, just several times during the day. Eventually you may have a sunny day. I think that you can even go windsurfing in the UK. Did you know that? The water is probably more chilly than the Mediterranean Sea, though. It certainly is. You certainly can. You can also go, especially along the Pembrokeshire coast where you were, Zeb. It's lovely surfing, beautiful surfing. Unfortunately, windsurfers and surfers and canoeists tend to get into fights along the Pembrokeshire coast because they're all trying to get onto the same waves. It's very popular. Alwyn then said, I put the whole, but I need to practice my English a lot. All people in this network are helping me to do it. Hey, excellent. I'm not sure what you meant, but I put the whole, but just I need to practice my English a lot, capital E for English, then a comma. Everyone in this network is helping me to do it. Okay? Zeb said, I do my best, but... And Alwyn said, but... and Zeb replied, but I need to practice my English a lot. Everybody on this network is helping me to do it. Okay, Oana then replied to Alwyn's first topic. You're right, Alwyn. I do the same things on this season. Okay, I do the same things in this season or during this season. Work and then in my room to improve my English. See you? Okay, again, watch those spaces after after the colon it should be a space. After the exclamation mark should be a space. Okay? Alwyn wrote, pleased to meet you, Oana. We have something in common. See you on live chat. Nice. Oana said, nice to meet you, Alwyn. How are you? And Alwyn said, I'm fine, thanks. And you? Why do you get to learn and improve your English? Now, why do you get to? That could be, why do you get to have 2 pieces of cake and I only get 1? It's a slightly sort of critical way of asking a question. So rather than saying that, just say, why are you learning and improving your English? And again, English, capital E, Alwyn. Oana said, I'm okay, me too. Thanks. Okay, I'm okay. because I'm fine, thanks, and you? You just say, oh, I'm okay too. Thanks, not I'm okay, me too. I'm learning English, me too. Yeah. Are you okay? Yes, I'm okay too, thanks. Yeah. Are you okay? I'm okay. Yeah, I'm okay, thanks. I'm okay too, thanks. Yeah. So you're sort of agreeing. Um, because keeps me in touch with the world. Okay, Awana, it would be because this keeps me in touch with the world. Again, spaces, spaces, spaces. Space after the exclamation mark, space after the full stop. I do it for myself, never know when might be useful. Okay, I'm doing it for myself, comma, space, you never know when it might be useful. Not useful, useful. USEFUL. Alwyn said, for me is the same. For me it is the same, Alwyn. What do you do in life? Are you student, odd? Do you have a job? Okay. What do you do in life? Oh, that's a big one. You could just say, what do you do if you're talking about the job? Yeah, what's your job? What do you do? Are you a student or do you have a job? So not odd, O-D-O-R. Just trying to see. Yeah, I think you must have mistyped it. The D is just underneath the R to the left on your keyboard. So I think you probably just got it on the wrong. Try to look before you press reply, before you actually press return to reply. Just do a quick scan. Make sure you got your spaces and make sure you haven't got any little typos. Okay. Awana then said, I have a job, kids, problems, but I have to go on with all. Okay. I have a job, comma, space, kids, comma, space, and the usual problems, comma, but I have to get on with it all. Yeah, I have to get on with it. We have to get on with things. Yeah, go on would mean if you're walking along and somebody's lagging behind me, usually, I'd say, oh no, go on, I'll catch up with you later. To get on, it means just to do things. I have to get on with it all, full stop. And then Alwyn said, really cute, all women have got a gear more than men to fight problems. I'm not sure if it's true, Alwyn, but I like the thought. Awana agrees. She said, you're right, again, space after the comma. Okay? And Alwyn said, thank you, Awana. Capital T with thank you, Alwyn. Zeb then replied to something Awana had said about the studying English bit to Awana. Come on, you don't work and study English all day long. I'll not buy this. Yeah, we wouldn't say I'll not buy this. You'd say I don't buy it. Yeah, as in I don't believe you. I don't buy it. Awana said, you're wrong. I work all day and in evening I study English. You don't believe me? Okay, so you're wrong, comma, space. I work all day and in the evening I study English. Full stop. Don't you believe me? So full stop, space, capital D for don't. Don't you believe me? Because that's a completely separate sentence. Yeah, you've got a sentence, a statement, and then you've got a question referring to the sentence. Okay. Zeb then said, I'm having some relaxing time here, and I hope that I'm not just homework for you. And then Oana said, no, of course not. Zeb replied, more seriously, you never make time to hang out with some friends, explore Italy, listen to music, read a book, etc., to unwind sometimes? And then Oana replied, I don't have any friends, unfortunately. Okay, so I don't have any friends, comma, space, unfortunately. Full stop. Zeb then said, it surprises me. I mean, you seem to be able to make contact with people quite easily. Oana then said, I am able to make contact with people, but because my work, I don't have time to go out to make friends, but I have you all here. Ah, that's nice. So you'd say, I am able to make contact with people, comma, space, but because of my work, I don't have time to go out, comma, space, to make friends. Or, I don't have time to go out to make friends. No comma, okay? I replied, there are many facets of friendship, and I put a post to the English magazine where we've written on facets of friendship, and online friendships are just as valid in my opinion as face-to-face friendships, except people online are more likely to ask you for money. Don't bother. I haven't got any. So I'm only going by the number of things I get. People asking me to send them money so that I can get loads of money out of somebody's bank account who's died. Does anybody else get those things, or is it just me? No, I know, they're all over the internet. Owana then wrote, "Good morning, Lynn. You're right, absolutely." Oh, I like it when people say you're right. Owana, "Good morning, Lynn!" Exclamation mark. Okay, good morning, Lynn. I don't know why you'd be surprised to see me in the morning, but space. You are right, comma, space. Absolutely, full stop. Okay, let's get these spaces into your sentences when you're writing. Zeb then wrote, "Methinks that it can be exactly the same in real life as it is here. Bye for now." Absolutely, Zeb, it is, totally. And especially as we're more likely to travel more, it's a great way of communicating with each other, getting to know each other a bit. We might never meet face to face, but does it matter? It's like people who prefer television to radio. I think both are really nice. I listen to the radio, I watch television. I don't have to see what I'm listening to. Yeah, it's not necessary. Which is why we don't use the video in our live chats or in Skype. We just don't do it. And do you need to see my face when I'm sitting here with the headset on talking to you? No, you don't. Owana then replied, "Bye for now," and "I know you are right." I know, comma, space, you are right. And full stop. It's not, no need for an exclamation mark. Amatsu, replying to Owana's studying, said, "You are very studious, Owana." Absolutely. And Owana said, "Why do you think so?" I think you are too, by the way, Owana. Amatsu wrote, "You spend a lot of time working at your English." And Owana said, "I think that is not enough." Okay. And you'd say, "I think that it is not enough." Okay. Well, we can always do more, but really doing anything is better than doing nothing. And remember, the philosophy of the network, for what we do for you guys and for what you should do to learn English, do what you can when you can. Okay, so that was a very long thread. Nice one, love it. Sina said hi, and Amatsu said hi, Sina. Nancy Patel said hi, what's up? Okay, so it would be capital H, hi. What's up would be capital W, HAT apostrophe S, because it's short for what is. Up, yeah, fine. Exclamation mark, yeah, if you must. What's up? What's up? And I replied, "Hi, Nancy," and Amatsu replied, "Hello, Nancy," and Nancy, no idea. What's up? So then Owana wrote, and I think we've gone a little bit off thread again here. Oh no, Zeb wrote, "Hi guys, I need some feedback. I need to buy a mobile phone and I'm thinking seriously to get a Nexus 5. Okay, I'm thinking seriously about getting a Nexus 5. I'd like to know if any of you would not advise me to get that phone and the reason why. Thanks in advance." Okay, so I'd like to know if any of you would advise me not to get that phone and the reason why. Thanks in advance. Okay. Alwind replied, "Hi Zeb, I have got a Sony Ericsson Xperia Arc S." Okay. I, capital I, Sony is one word with a capital S, Ericsson, capital E, Xperia, that's fine, that's probably the name of the phone, Arc S. And I love it. So capital I, Alwind. Full stop. And I think... okay, got you. So you say, "And I love it, comma, even though it's not the newest." Okay? Not also if it is not very newest. No, even though it's not the newest. I love Sony product because I love music a lot, and Sony devices is the best for hearing music. Okay. You're right. I love Sony with a capital S. It's a company name, proper noun, because I love Sony products. Yeah, all of them, because I, capital I, love music a lot, comma, and Sony devices, it's plural, so then you'd write are the best for hearing music, are the best for listening to music. Okay, are they? Do you know that Sony have disabled what you hear on their computers, and my laptop that's Sony overheats. Even though it's only just over 3 years old, it heats like a toaster now. So I'm not a fan of Sony products. Sorry, Alwind. Then Alwind carried on saying, "I know than Nexus 5. Ouch. Ouch. Okay, I've just electrocuted myself because I can't electrocute you. I know that the Nexus 5 is the Google device and it not have not problem. Okay, I know that the Nexus 5 is a Google device, Google with a capital G, and it doesn't have any problems. I think than this smartphone. Ouch! I think that this is a smartphone, right? Okay. Zeb went, you're like two of my brothers. They listen to music all the time and listen on the go. And to listen on the go, they say Sony Ericsson devices are best. Okay, you'd say are the best. Simply the best. Better than all the rest. Zeb then carried on to say, whatever you do, work or leisure, is there always music in the background? Okay, leisure is Leisure. Yeah, leisure. It's a weird one, I know, but that's what we say. Leisure. That's how it's spelt. Alwyn then said, yes, of course, there's always music in my background. So always is Always. Okay, your brothers are right. Sony Ericsson is the best to listen music. Okay, your brothers are right. Sony capital S, Ericsson capital E is the best for listening to music. Zeb said, do they let you listen to music at your workplace? And Alwyn said, I don't care of them. I'm freelancer. So Alwyn, it would be, it doesn't matter. I'm a freelancer. Yeah, I don't care of them. No, I don't care about them maybe, but you don't need it. You just say, I don't worry. I'm capital I, a freelancer. Yeah, I'm a teacher. You're a freelancer. Okay, Zeb then said, a freelance photographer. Okay, photographer. Photographer is Photographer, not an F, even though we say the F sound. PH is the F sound, as in the beginning of photographer. So it's PH and PH, two lots of PH in it. Okay, photography is the same. So, and photograph, PH. I read your conversation with Oana about photos. Hey, excellent. Zeb then said, thanks for your replies. I'll probably make up my mind about what phone to choose over the weekend. And then she said, gosh, the shipping is at least 4 weeks to get a Nexus 5. I have no choice than to postpone this buy, as I'll not be in France to receive it by then. Oh, Zeb, I hadn't seen that. Sorry, because I tend to read at the top of the posts, so I hadn't seen that reply. And Matsu said, hi Zeb, I've always had HTC and really liked them. I don't know the Nexus, sorry. Sorry one. Oh, I see, sorry. I think you meant to write an exclamation mark, not the number 1. Yeah, make sure you... I guess it looks like an exclamation mark if you haven't got your glasses on. Anyhow, I replied, I'm afraid my smartphone is about 6 years old. I do have a Galaxy Note tablet and I'm very happy with it. When I need a bit of new tech, I use trusted reviews. Oana then wrote, hi Zeb, I don't know anything about this phone, sorry. Okay, again, space after your comma and after your exclamation mark, okay? Space, Oana. Hi Oana, said Zeb. No problem. Have you got a mobile phone? Oana then said, no yet. Again, you got a problem with that one, Oana. Not yet. You could just write no, but not yet means I probably will be getting one at some point in the future. Full stop. I have a mobile phone. I had a mobile phone for a while some years ago, but I intend to buy a Samsung Galaxy S4. Full stop. Okay. Zeb said, will it be your first smartphone then? And Oana said, smarter than that which I have now. Oh, if you haven't got one now, it would be. Full stop, Oana, at the end. Zeb then replied, I understand that it'll do more than just being able to call or text people. Yay! It does lots, Zeb, but eventually it's not as exciting as it sounds, honestly. So, I think we've run out of time today, so as we did last week, I will split this into 2 chats, and I'll record the rest in a separate one because I only have a certain amount of time within these chats and we're about to run out. So thank you so much for everybody who's been chatting. It's really interesting reading your texts. You're getting conversations going between you, which helps me to correct you. I hope you like the corrections. Let me know. And again, if you have any questions, remember I am actually on live chat every Tuesday morning. So if I do correct something from last week, or if I corrected something last week or from this week and you hear it and you're not sure why, you can ask me, or go to the new forum, the new shiny forum, which is currently hosted on Vanilla Forums, but will probably get its own web address at some point. But you can find it on Vanilla Forums under Learn English at the moment. And yeah, everybody's welcome. We're kind of opening it up to the public? No, you're not the public. We're opening it up to everybody. I hate it when the BBC does that. The public, like they're not the public. So we will be opening it up to everybody to join, and look forward to seeing or hearing from you there. We'll see how it goes. Take care. And get practicing your English. Yeah, don't just click on likes. Don't just click on lols. Actually write, talk about, discuss what you're reading, engage with what you're reading here or elsewhere on the internet. And if you can actually get to talk to people, take the opportunity to do so. But it's been nice chatting to you today. Be nice and be kind. And if you can't be good, as ever, just don't get caught. Bye.